There's this quote that I love. Hate is often fear that forgot how to breathe or forgot to breathe. Uh, there is a lot of hate in the world right now. And I want to spend a few minutes together learning how to have a nice boundary with it. Maybe notice it in yourself. Learn how to let some of that compassion awaken out of your heart and melt off some of that hate energy around you. And also, maybe not be so despondent or apathetic about the way the world is or cynical. It's so easy to get pulled into negativity. And so, as a meditator, and I identify as a meditator, as a meditator, we can see all the energies of the world and we can learn how to become compassionate and neutral to them. There's another quote that I love from Carl Jung. One of his students asked him if the apocalypse was inevitable. And he said, not if enough people do their inner work. And I know it seems like all is lost when you watch the news, but there are a lot of awakening people out there, like you, if you're sitting here with me. So we shift our energy from the inside out, and hopefully that ripples out into the external world. So don't leave me a bunch of comments that the world's on fire and there's no hope. Yeah. All right. So when it comes to actually being in the moment and going, okay, there's a wave of hate. I'm noticing it. It's frustrating me, upsetting me in some way. I feel lost. I don't know what to do. This is where our meditation practice kicks in. Let's do this for a few minutes. So with your eyes open or closed right now with me. And by the way, thanks for being in my living room here with me. The kitty is right there. She's watching us intently as we do this. So eyes open or closed. I want you to just relax your body, relax your shoulders, relax your jaw, relax that hate you have for haters. I'm a lover. I don't hate. I just hate other people that hate. And just be here with me for a moment and see if you can let your consciousness drop from your head into the center of your chest, into your heart center, almost like taking the elevator down. I like to consider the head, the top of the head, like the seventh floor, the heart, the fourth floor. So just take a moment, drop down into the center of your chest, into your heart. And I want you to think of something that generates a lot of hate that you have antipathy for, that you are like, ugh, don't like that person, don't like that entity. They generate a lot of hate. And you've noticed in yourself that you're starting to hate them for hating. And I know this might not be the most fun exercise out of the gate, but it's important. So there's likely somewhere in you where you're hating a hater. And that is you being pulled into the game of negativity. So notice that, how much resistance there is towards someone who hates or something that generates hate. Could be a media entity or government. And just notice your visceral reaction in your body. Notice the response in you. And just see right now, as you sit here with me, from your heart center, if you can have compassion. Usually, when someone hates, it's because they have pain inside of them, or they're unconscious, or they have a very strong tribal or egoic identity. They're so identified with their point of view, with their people, with their ideology, that they're incapable of feeling and having compassion for people outside of that circle. Maybe they were hurt as children. And even an entity or a government is just full of human beings. some conscious, some unconscious. You might be like, oh, I hate unconscious people. Yes, you can laugh at yourself for that feeling. Imagine if one of those hateful unconscious people was someone that you loved. Notice if there's a little bit more room, a little bit more flexibility for compassion towards them. The last thing we want to do is become what we hate. And as you sit here, see if you can let some of that resistance melt off of you anywhere you haven't had compassion. And I don't want you to intellectualize it or do mental gymnastics or justify. Oh, justification. It's so alluring, pulls you in. But I'm justified. And as you sit here with me in real time, in your heart, not in your head, notice if there's a little bit less resistance towards the haters, a bit more compassion and understanding. Let your body release some of that tension. At a deep level, there might be this feeling of, I wish the world was different than it is. Sure, we all do, but the world is the way it is. And you get to decide if you want to meet it with resistance and fear or with compassion and awareness. I want you to take a nice big deep breath in. As you sigh out, release any more tension out of your body. Let yourself be in this moment. See if you can let your heart center open even more. Notice that subtle shift of energy just as you've been sitting with me. You can put a light smile on your face. And just recognize you're mastering the art of not hating the haters. You're shifting your frequency and your energy, and maybe even the consciousness on the planet. Great work. And when you're ready, you can stretch. When you go back out into the world, see if you can do it with more mindfulness, more awareness, more from your heart center with compassion. And when you encounter the next hater, whether it's in person or online, there's probably a hurt child in that body, someone unconscious or overly identified with their ego or with their tribe. And you can have compassion for that unconsciousness. Maybe they're on this planet to awaken to at some point. All right. As my shirt says, be kind. And if you start taking things too seriously, just remember that giraffe behind me. Love you. Thanks for sitting with me. I'll see you next time. Feel free to leave a comment or a question. Be well.